When he had washed their feet and put on his outer garments and resumed his place, he said to them, "Do you understand what I have done to you?" You call me Teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and Teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet.
Hi, my name is Katherine Kramer. I graduated from Patrick Henry in the spring of 2010. I became a teacher straight out of college, and that would not have happened without my studies at Patrick Henry. I had phenomenal classmates that I got to work with and just build friendships with. And my professors had a huge impact on the way I saw the world and what I wanted to do after graduating from college. Specifically at the time, the Doctors McCullum and the Doctors Veith played a huge role in what I saw the purpose of a classical Christian education being in my life, which was to go out and work with children and work with families. So I graduated from Patrick Henry and then began working at a small Christian classical parish school immediately following that graduation. I taught in lower elementary grades and I taught in middle school, and then I began serving in administrative positions, coaching faculty and training faculty. And now, this year, I have, with a group of really extraordinary faculty and parents, started a new school in the city of Alexandria, Virginia. ACCA is different from maybe a typical schooling environment in a few key ways. One is certainly that we are an overtly Christian school. We are very direct about telling our families and the community the discipleship of children is the most important thing we could do. That while they are at school, we pray as a faculty that students are coming to know and love the experience of being in a Christian community, and that their habits and rhythms are being formed and developed in such a way that they are just oriented towards what's ultimately good, which is the Lord. And we are, secondly, a classical school. We want to be a school that points students and orients students toward truth, goodness, and beauty that's realized in Jesus. I would not be a teacher or be working in education at all had it not been for Patrick Henry. I learned so much about pedagogy, human nature, history, how the world works, and it was really the education that I needed to be able to do what I'm doing now. I think this sets up teachers exceptionally well, and I'm very honored that over half of the teaching staff at ACCA are Patrick Henry grads. Patrick Henry does a great job of teaching students in a rigorous classical collegial environment, and as part of the culture of the college, many students are particularly well equipped to go out and serve their local communities using the knowledge that they have gained.
My name is Jordan Estrada, and I'm a 2008 Patrick Henry College graduate with a degree in literature. I'm married to Brianna, also a PhD grad, and we live in New Hampshire with our 3 children. After graduating from PhD, I went to work in the national security sector for a government contractor. I worked as an industrial security manager for the next 12 years, and during that time I also volunteered as a first responder for 8 years. In both of those opportunities, preparing for a potential mass shooter incident was always a priority and focus. While I'm thankful that I never had to respond to an actual attack, it became more and more clear to me that responding wasn't enough. Proactive efforts to prevent attacks from occurring were much needed and in short supply. In May of 2022, after the back-to-back mass shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, a group of us decided action was overdue, and we assembled a team of professionals, academics, and creatives to brainstorm on this question: what can we do to prevent these types of attacks from occurring? That group was mainly composed of PhD grads, current students, and PhD associates. From that brainstorming session emerged a singular idea. Everybody is talking about mass shooters, but nobody is talking with them. Inspired by this epiphany, we launched Let's Talk to Them later that year, a new nonprofit with a mission to prevent mass murders by proactively reaching potential perpetrators with an outreach campaign to deter them from violence and redirect them onto a path of hope. We are working to save the lives of potential victims by first saving the life of the potential perpetrator. As I reflect back on my time at Patrick Henry College, I'm confident I wouldn't be on this path if it wasn't for the way PHC equipped me for ministry and service. For starters, the network of PHC alumni and students has been a tremendous advantage for both resources and encouragement. But the PHC ethos of leading the nation and shaping the culture are foundational to the work we're doing. We're trying to change the conversation about mass murders, and we're doing that by shifting the conversation away from politics and legislation and reactionary efforts to the simple truths of the gospel. These potential perpetrators are lost sheep, and if we can reach them, we are fulfilling the greatest commission.
Hey there, I'm Britney Bis, Britney Paste back when I was at PHC, and I graduated in 2009. I currently work on staff at my church here locally, and so that's my area of mission. But there were a lot of twists and turns throughout the last 15 years that brought me to this point. And that's what I want to spend just a couple minutes sharing with you. So today, one of the biggest things I know about myself is that I love people. And it might sound kind of funny to say that, I'm sure most of us do, but when I look back, even my time here as a student, most of my interactions with people were actually characterized completely differently by a lot of fear and just being afraid. And so as I think about it today, I love knowing the people right around me. So for example, just my actual neighbors in my townhome community, maybe the coffee barista that I see throughout the week, even something simple like going into the post office and just being aware of the people in there. That's one of the big ways in the last years that I've just started to understand a little bit more about how God has wired me and what it looks like for me to be on mission with Him. In a nutshell, after graduation, I worked in the international field for about 7 years, then took a couple mission trips, did one down to Bolivia, South America for a period of about 6 months, and then 7 years ago started working for my church. Today, part of my role at church, I just really love getting to know that I'm being part of mobilizing a ton of believers in our local church body to also see and influence the people right around them each day. And just knowing that that matters and it's part of how God has made us to be on mission. The goal, hopefully, is to introduce people to Jesus, of course, but I really do think it counts just to be someone who sees the value in noticing people, being present with them, and listening. When I was here at PHC, I honestly would not have said that I was someone passionate about being on mission. I think from my perception, when I looked around at fellow students, in contrast, I didn't really feel like I had a clear career path or even job goals that could be articulated or line up with a job description. And so it makes it even more impressive to me just to look back and see how God provided each step I needed to help just grow me and get me to the point of understanding how He had made me to be on mission with Him.
Hi PHC, my name is Jensen Near. I studied American politics and policy and graduated in 2010. My professional career path since then has gone a very different direction than I intended. I went to school to study government, realized that I wasn't quite cut out for that and that my heart was for discipleship, so I pursued that for 3 years as an RD at PHC, another 2 years working for a Christian college in a similar role, and then I started seminary, ended up getting a job as the college pastor at my home church, which was such an amazing thing. But after 3 years there, it was clear that that wasn't going to be a long-term thing, and I was told to start looking for the next thing, and got a Facebook message out of the blue from a fellow PHC alum saying, I think I might have just the job for you. So it was serving at Christian Encounter Ranch, which is a residential program that serves at-risk youth from troubled and traumatized backgrounds in a loving Christian environment. And I was intimidated. That's not my background. And didn't feel like my gifts and my strengths. And I opened up this job description, and virtually every bullet point from my prior 10 years of professional career before that was on this one piece of paper. So even though I hadn't been planning or preparing to move in this direction, that's exactly how God had been moving and preparing me. So that was incredible. Now I've been here for 6 years, serving these youth 16 to 21, helping them in their healing journey, and also getting to train and mentor the 20-somethings who come as interns to serve our students as well. And we just get to love these students with Jesus's love and serve them and lay down our lives for them. And it has been such a humbling experience and such a gift to be a part of that. For me, PHC served a role of iron sharpening iron. Incredible, sharp students who love the Lord, spending hours and hours daily in the dining room, in dorm rooms, in the sort of Socratic method classes, hashing through ideas and sharpening my understanding and my ability to articulate ideas sort of three-dimensionally. And that's the connection that landed me here of another alum who I served with for a year as an RA, but was never really super close with, knowing me, reaching out to me, and I walked into the job. We have immediate shared vocabulary, shared experiences, and so there was almost no sort of loading time. We were able to just hit the ground running. So it was incredible. I'm so grateful for my experience at PHC. The thing I've learned in this environment, serving this population that can be really messy, they just have really broken, difficult lives and have faced far more trouble than I ever have, is that God's love is not something that can be earned or needs to be earned, but He has a Father's heart towards us with unlimited love and compassion.